Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a Land Cruiser Prado 90 series. This one here with a 5-speed manual, 3-liter turbo diesel engine. Of course, it's 4-wheel drive with high gear ratio, low gear ratio, locking center differential, and the optional rear differential, which is really weird. We've had 2 of these I reported on today, both of them with the optional rear differential. Very rare option, kind of a unique day for me today. These engines known to be very reliable. We'll check the condition of this one. It was bought from the auction, going to be exported over to the USA. It is not available for purchase by anybody. This is a post-purchase inspection video, and the owner has been nice enough to share it with everybody. Probably about, I don't know, 15 or 20% of the cars that we export end up on the channel. We sell mostly to car dealers, and most car dealers don't allow the videos to go up onto the channel, so it is lucky to get these whenever you do get them. Okay, so the engine doesn't put out a lot of horsepower, but it is torquey. Diesel engines tend to be low horsepower, high torque. I think it's somewhere in the range of 130. The title card will tell you exactly, but the torque is quite a bit higher than that. It feels like a good engine for this chassis, the turbocharged one with the intercooler. Let me rephrase that. These are all turbocharged, but not all of them are intercooler versions. Only the later model ones are, such as this one. This car had the timing belt changed, but it looks like the date has bled. It looks like 2017 was the time, but I don't know what the mileage was. And this one currently has 125,000 kilometers on it, so relatively low. Overall condition is fair. It has a few things like one very badly damaged door card, some body damage on it, and then a really dirty interior that needs to be cleaned out. But overall, I think a good vehicle that's going to look nice when it's all done. Coolant looks fine. Oil looks fine. Got a little bit of tape here on the air filter. Kind of a dumb way to fix it, especially this tape. This tape, I don't know where you can buy this in Japan, but we don't really have it in Canada. It's the world's worst tape. It doesn't stick to itself because it's an oiled tape. So I don't know what the purpose of this tape is. It's pretty terrible. And then just like a few other of these, there's a little bit of oil seeping out through there. That comes from the fact that turbos need to have oil for coolant. And the auction sheet said rust around the battery, so there is a little bit on the battery tie down. There is a little bit there. Looks like some battery, battery acid came, corrosion came, something, and did that. And then there's a teeny bit underneath. Let me see where I can find this. Down in here. I don't know if we're going to get a focus. There we go. So some down there and some down there. That actually worked out pretty well, all things considered. Okay, we'll lower the hood. And that about the rust was mentioned on the auction inspection sheet, as it should be. Okay, a quick look at the car with the hood down. Land Cruiser Prado. One of the best SUVs that came out of this generation. They are a very good deal. Tons of them sold here in Japan, so there are a ton available. You can get them in all sorts of conditions to suit your price range. Manual transmissions, not a lot of them, so this is a peach that we got one with a manual transmission. It's a 1996 Land Cruiser Prado TX, auction rate 4, interior C, with alloy wheels, power steering, power windows, and airbag. 125,831 kilometers. No sales points, no reports. 8-seater. 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess the third row is 3 seats. I don't know if you'd want to put 3 people in the third row. I always considered these to be 7-seaters, actually. So it says right side electric power folding mirror doesn't work. It actually does. It's kind of weird. The right side is noisy, but it does work. And then door trim is coming off. Yeah, bad door trim. I'll show you that in a sec. Winter tires, around the battery has rust, engine oil leak, that's what I just showed you, interior dirty, and upper parts paint fade. It's really not too bad. This one's been repainted on the hood. And it's pretty common to get paint fade on the upper facing parts of the car. Maybe a little bit here, I guess. Because whatever's perpendicular to the sun is going to fade more. And then the body has some A2 over here, A2, and A2. So there are some sizable scratches on the car, and we knew that going into this. So let's take you for a tour around the car. Everybody wants to see a Land Cruiser Prado. Everyone wants them in their driveway. because they're fantastic, especially if your driveway is slippery, because four-wheel drive and low gear ratio four-wheel drive. And SUV with a manual transmission, and Toyota manual transmission trucks or SUVs or 4Runners, called the Hilux Surf here in Japan. Great vehicles. People who have owned them don't want to own anything else. The dependability, the robustness, the cool factor, the way that they drive, high points on everything. And I think the Land Cruiser Prado, save for the regular Land Cruisers, is about as good as it gets. This is a good step up from the Hilux Surf / 4Runner that is already loved by many. Okay, pull around the front here. This has been completely unmodified. This is the regular height for the vehicle, regular everything, including a cool little fender mirror. This one here, so yeah, it's a right-hand drive, so you're driving over there, which is opposite in the USA, but it works. It means that this corner can be a little bit difficult to tell where things are. So you have the mirror here as a reference for where your corner is. You can generally see how close you are to hitting stuff in just judging by how close the mirror is to things. The mirror itself has two mirror lenses, one that shows you how close this side is to hitting things, especially how close you are to trees when you're off-roading, and then the other mirror gives you the same thing for the front of the car, so you can see how close you are to a wall or parallel parking. Great little thing. A lot of the 4x4s here in Japan have them, including the Ford Explorer, Cadillac Escalade, and other American type vehicles when they're sold here in Japan. Jeeps have them, I believe. Okay, now damages. Let's have a quick look at everything. The grille itself looking good. The front bumper, I think mostly looking good. Now I'm not sure what this is, and I've been doing this for years, but I've never actually seen this get applied. See what looks like scratches here? It's just a white substance that you can rub off with your fingers. It gets on a lot of the cars, and I don't know what it is. It seems to only be on cars from auction too. So I'm not sure. You don't see it on parking lot cars ever, and it's everywhere on this car. You can see it's on the headlights here. You can scratch it right off. It's on the grille, it's on the bumper, it's on the fenders, it's on so many places. So it is a little bit tricky to see what's actually a real scratch and what's this just pretend scratch white stuff that is on the car. But I will point out what is a real scratch when we get to it. This video comes with a companion video with a whole bunch of other things, like over 100 pictures and other videos and stuff like that. So I do just kind of gloss over some of this stuff on this walk around compiling the information video. I'll point out the big things here. So we do have minor scratches. There's one there. There's kind of a big one there. These ones here are real scratches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with some minor ones in between. There is some scratching on the chrome piece of the handle there. Side steps are good, and the plastic bits are good, and that kind of protects the vehicle from most large dents and whatnot. You got basically armor there and there. The plastic doesn't really dent, and only this much metal keeps for good looking side panels compared to something like a regular sedan or an MR2 or a Skyline. Scratch here. That one's shallow. This one's fairly thick. Scratch there and some overspray or something. Not sure what that is. Some mild scratches here and here. Mild scratch there. A chip on the edge of the door there. Some big scratches right across here. And they called this one an A2. I could see that. A2 makes sense. A3 also makes sense for something this big. So maybe an A3 if I were the inspector. And then more scratch here. So it does have some things to take care of. The thing is, when you see these with the 5-speed manual, for one, they're often in far worse condition than this. There's something about the manual transmission ones that are owned by people who, I guess, like to take their vehicle off-road and more likely to get branch and twig scratches on it, dents, that sort of thing. But they always tend to have higher mileage as well. And they just don't come up that often. So when you do see them, it might be worth your while, if you want a manual transmission one, like a lot of people do, to pick it up with the expectation that it needs a little bit of work. So some scratches there in the over fender, Some here as well. Scratch here. Lots of scratches around the door handle from people missing, like, where's my door handle? Oddly, fingernails can scratch paint quite a bit. If you look like right here. And then a scratch here as well. Coming down here, looking pretty good, pretty good. Big scratches here, some down there as well. And some chips here. Okay, now probably the biggest problem with the car is right here, and I'm going to show this right away. If you look here, you got a chip here, and a chip here, and 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 here. But they're all on the wrong side of the door. It's pretty easy to get door chips on the trailing edge of the door, because when you open the door and hit something, you're bound to chip it off. You don't open the rear door from this side unless you got suicide doors, like the BB. Yep. Watch this. And it kind of sucks. It doesn't kind of suck. It really sucks. You ready? There are hundreds of chips along that edge and along this edge and in here. And dents in here as well. A lot of dents. This absolutely has the look of my seatbelt was here when I closed the door. See? Now the seatbelt will pull itself up. When you get back out of the car, if your car's getting a little bit older, especially a very, very dirty car like this one is, go like that. It's not hard. I don't know, maybe it is, but that's the sound of damage. It's not only there, but doing it has also damaged this. So we have a number of dents along here. Someone put a screw in. And it's damaged the door card quite a bit. So it said the door card comes up. Really, they should have said the door card is heavily ripped, like ripped large. Oftentimes they will say something like that. They didn't in this case. Okay, and I will come back to the interior. I just wanted to show you that. That's the biggest problem in the car. Okay, if you want, you can get a used door card bought and put in before the car ships. It's a thing. Okay, so the door opens to the side like that. And I guess it's 3 seats right there, 1, 2, 3. And those flip up to the sides if you want more room. There's a stain, actually the staining goes underneath the seat as well, and I got some pictures of that. 3rd row seats, not the most comfortable. They're fairly close to the ground, so it's sort of like knees around your ears kind of seating position. But they do work in a pinch. They absolutely work for kids. Sides here, generally good shape. This one is dirty, so it looks like it's scratched, but it's just dirty. Okay, let's close that off. Let's go into the mid seat. Got a little bit of a tear in the carpeting there. Okay. Now I like that it's a 3-row, especially when this came out, there weren't a lot of 3 rows, unless it was a minivan. 3-row SUVs weren't super popular, hence why this sold so well. There was the Pajero, again, those sold really well. Prados are better than Pajeros in my opinion. They feel better built, although the Pajeros are fairly reliable as well. They just have kind of a cheaper feel to them, in my opinion. Okay, this folds as a 1-piece to get you into the back. Fairly easy to get up into there. And just like I said, it's fairly close to the ground. So you have earmuffs made out of your knees. I do think it's odd that this seat needs to be adjusted back for it to be a comfortable position. Okay. And the lid here, there's supposed to be a lid for those cup holders. That lid has gone AWOL for some reason. That bike sounds awesome. Okay, so the door card, aside from the damage on that side there, and here's what you'll see when you get into the car. So you can see it a little bit. Your eyes don't really naturally go there, especially when you get into the car, you open the door, you're not looking here. You're looking for where you're going in. I would get the car door replaced. Not the door, pardon me, the door card. Because this is also extremely dirty. You may not be able to see it as well, but so is this and all of this. And there's splashes on it and more up here and more here. It's just gross. So, blah. Keep in mind there are a few different types of fabric inserts here. So you want to get one that matches. A little bit of sagginess in the seat. A little bit of dirtiness in the seat as well. The interior is extremely dirty on the car, so needs to be cleaned. It's kind of a thing for a lot of cars, like auction cars that are this old. Most people in Japan are not owning a car until it's 25 years old. I think once your car's like 6 years old, people are like, why you drive such an old car? For a 6-year-old car, it's weird to me. Where in Canada, I think the average age is probably like 15 years old. The average age here in Japan is probably like 8. So when you come here, it's like, wow, everyone's got a new car. Okay, so there's the broken console. It's actually like cracked too, you can see. 5-speed manual. You gotta get the 5-speed manual. It is such a peach to drive. Very, very nice feeling transmission. Long throw in this with a long handle. I just love it. You can shift without putting the clutch in. So dirtiness there. Just like a vacuum would do this car wonders. Look at this. Gross, right? And the place to put your coins? You can't put coins anymore because you're storing your dirt there. And it looks like the shift boot has come loose. That needs to be popped back into place. AC works and is nice and well. CD player there. Mechanically, everything appears to be good. And look at this. Oh, I'm going to keep the plastic to keep it in good condition, but never vacuum my car. Like, how do you even get that much dirt in the car in the first place? Same kind of person who never cleans his car is closing the door and the seatbelt. Not once or twice, but literally thousands of times. Also, the seatbelt has a little bit of a tear on it right there that's been stitched up. Somebody actually took the effort to stitch it up. I was looking for this little clip piece that I've seen. You pull this out, and I guess it's for people who don't like seatbelts. And the seatbelt they put in the position that they like, and then they attach a clip here so that the seatbelt can't retract itself. And there's like a huge correlation between people who have that and people who don't maintain their vehicles and people who don't wash their vehicles. I don't know what it is. And people who heavily smoke. So I was looking for that after I saw how dirty it is inside and saw all of this. But alas, there isn't one now. There probably was one before, but they probably closed that in the door as well. Okay? And I guess that's going to be it for this one. The report on the Land Cruiser Prado. I got one more car to shoot until there's no more light, so I got to get on that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.